What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out associated to the company itself, and where I see things going from here. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, SoundHound was flat on Friday. Very volatile day. You've always seen these kind of periodic spikes up, and it's very short-lived, but it kind of does show that there is someone willing to buy it, and that's very resemblant based on this as well. So these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So everything that does show as a ask is a buy. So again, you do see a fair amount of buying constantly with SoundHound. And that's one thing that I've always really analyzed is where the volume is coming from. Just in my opinion, the broader market concerns outweighed just any optimism associated to SoundHound. So this is why it's been going down. But this last week, you had phenomenal data, even lower than anticipated unemployment rate. So in reality, yes, it did kind of kill the likelihood of a 50 basis point cut for the November 7th meeting, but in general, it shows that the economy is strong. And when it comes to SoundHound, they are one leg above the rest because they don't have and they didn't really pursue a lot of like toxic convertible debt. A lot of other companies in similar kind of situations as SoundHound did, and those stocks pretty much that's their death sentence. So essentially this is why SoundHound, out of any other video, this is probably the most optimistic I am on it. Even though there hasn't been that much coming out from the company itself, I feel like the broader market itself as a whole, because of the strong data points, is really going to propel SoundHound higher. And a lot of the data coming out this week as well could be that kind of point that where you'll see a rotation back into equities. So I've brought this up in the past. This is the amount of money that is sitting in money markets. And the last update, which was on the 3rd, did show $6.46 trillion. So a lot of money, all-time highs are sitting there. So in reality, once people see a little bit more upside coming or anticipated in equities and stocks, this is where you'll see a rotation back into the market, similar to what happened between 2020 and 2021. So like I said, even though there hasn't been all that much in kind of news from the company itself, I feel like it does have a lot of good upside potential. And for those of you that kind of watched their last two seminars, I think one was Sidoti and can't remember the other one, but I was impressed. I don't know about you guys. Some people might not like it or whatever, but I see a lot of potential for SoundHound and maybe a lot that they haven't even disclosed yet. So honestly, like I said, I think this is the one time I'm probably the most optimistic based on macro events, of course. Shorts, though, they kind of see it as otherwise. So it's basically at all-time high short interest numbers. So the all-time high was 28.29%. That was hit on September the 16th. Right now, it is sitting at 25.71%. Still very, very high from what SoundHound is able to do. But 81.48 million shares overall are being shorted. On Friday, shorts did return 316,000 shares, and they probably will continue to do that, in my opinion, because they are very overextended. So a lot of stocks similar to SoundHound have had shorts returning shares as the good data has been coming out. Whereas with SoundHound, for whatever reason, unless they're acting on some other non-public information, they have been really increasing. Utilization is 100% short score, so the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening is sitting at 82.36%. So yeah, honestly, as I've stated, SoundHound is a good hybrid stock. It's an AI play. Of course, a lack of news hasn't really kind of built into that yet or really propelled it higher. It's a momentum stock at the same time as a squeeze stock. So it's a kind of a good piece for every investor, if you kind of retail investor, of course. But based on this, there was 511,000 in calls, 293,000 in puts. 51% of all the options being done on Friday were optimistic, and especially this candle does stick out. there was 25,000 in premiums just between 840 and 845. And we can kind of pull this up right here. You see that there was a lot of $5 calls that was purchased, expiry date for the 18th. So there is upside anticipated, at least based on this, because at the time of when these were purchased, which again are all fairly optimistic and bullish, it was at $4.74. So yeah, there is upside anticipated for this upcoming week. Of the call options that were purchased on Friday, you see a consensus for it to be kind of around that 550 for the most part, or potentially above it. And then looking at puts, you see a consensus for it to be sub 450. So the risk versus reward is very much there, and there is more upside anticipated. So options activity on a side note though, it's just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price, but it's a good tool that I like to use overall, as well as this. So with good data coming out this upcoming week, that might be that X catalyst that institutions have been waiting for to really cycle in. And that's not even counting that big market rotation, as what I kind of mentioned right here. And so aside from that though, right now with it at $4.69, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So $4.71 is going to be that strong kind of resistance slash target that you'll want to watch for it to get over early next week. Aside from that, $4.40 is that strong support, which wasn't tested on Friday. So kind of a good thing, but still, like I said, once it is able to get above this pivot point right here, this is where you should see that $5 and then potentially even plus from there. And on the actual chart itself, you can tell it's just pent up. And oddly, a lot of stocks do have this kind of pent-up action before it does break out. A stock that I do cover under Financial Journey, I'm sure everyone knows, is NIO. They kind of had a similar scenario, as well a lot of other examples I'm sure you guys can think of. So it gets very pent up, has a lot of consolidation, and then just one good piece of news, just boom, just blows it higher. So I do anticipate that to happen with SoundHound. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what does happen. But all in all, let me know your guys' thoughts on SoundHound. Have you guys been buying? Have you guys been selling? What have you guys been doing behind the scenes? And do you think that their upcoming earnings, which I don't believe has been officially disclosed, but estimated to be on the 8th of November, do you think that that is going to be a positive surprise? Based on analyst, 23 mil is that estimate for the revenue, -7 cents for the earnings per share. And over the last 90 days, there has been 2 positive and 2 negative revisions coming from analysts. So yeah, honestly, SoundHound is one of those stocks that you need to add to your watch list and can easily go up, as what has proven in the past multiple different times. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. Take advantage of this promo. It does give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000 as well. I did actually just launch my members for this channel. So if you guys like the channel and want to support it, then definitely consider joining as a member. So with that said, I appreciate all of you guys watching.